Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Dodge Charger Hellcat Widebody. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Charger Hellcat. This one is available for sale right now. If you're interested, check them out. I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. On a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 717 horsepower and then 650 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 12 around town and then 21 on the highway. And yeah, just look at how crazy this thing is. It'll be sad once this is gone. Now let's go over the front end of the Hellcat. Now, sorry about it being a little bit dirty. It literally rained just before I started filming this, and well, I don't have any time to clean it up. So at least we have a review happening. So notice here with the venting on either side of the hood, super aggressive looking, and then also there in the center. And then we have the Charger's signature headlights here, gigantic front fascia with the SRT Hellcat logo. And then down below with more aggressive venting, and then look how aggressive the front end is. And then obviously you've got those wider fender flares at least, right? And yeah, this is just such a mean looking car from a front end perspective. Coming around the side here, we've got 305mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then notice with the coloration on the wheels, they're actually satin black, which I think looks really cool in contrast to the gloss black on this particular car. And of course, we have the giant Brembo brakes there in the front. Look how big those rotors are. 20-inch wheels, you got to remember. Got the Hellcat logo here on the side, and then we have the fender flares that are added to make this a wide body. So it's not a true wide body in the sense that you've got wider fenders. You just have big fender flares. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, here's our full side view on the car, and Rebel's getting in the way. There you go. I think it looks really cool from the side too. Now, just like other Hellcats, you have multiple keys that come with the car. This is the key that you give to your significant other that you're not exactly sure about the driving skills. It is the black key. You also have the red key that will unlock all of the horsepower. This just unlocks some of the horsepower. I've realized that every single time I've reviewed one of these, I've always had the red key for like the showing, and so I figured that I'd show you guys what the black key looks like for a review. Anyways, popping here into the trunk area, you guys can see here with the storage space. Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, it's a pretty big car, and when you're all done, just pop that down. Now, finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see here with the spoiler, pretty crazy there. At the top, it's absolutely massive. And we have the Charger's signature light bar here with the Dodge logo, parking sensors on the front end, and then notice the venting there on the side, and then really aggressive with the exhaust tips. And well, that's all for the rear. Now, being a Charger, this is a four-door car, so you guys can see here we've got like the padding and stitching at the top, and then the leather trim down below with more stitching. Actually looks really nice. And then we've got these beautiful leather seats. They're very comfortable. Like, and there's even like leather padding here on the side, which I've always thought is kind of interesting that they've done it that way. But yeah, really nice seats. Now, space back here isn't as good as you'd think, as you can see. And notice here with little storage pocket. I'm pretty sure this is built off like an E-Class platform, like an older Mercedes E-Class platform. So yeah, cars have gotten bigger since then. Anyways, notice here with the vents, heated seats for the rear, USBs as well. And here's a better look at the seats. Love the design on them. Let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel, you guys can see with the stitching at the top, and then down below with the leather trim. All of your window controls front two are automatic, and then notice with the mirror adjustments, memory seats, and then blind spot mounting for the mirrors. And then here's the front seat. Notice it says SRT with the little Hellcat head, and then you can see with the perforated leather all down the center. Power adjustments here on the side as well. Pedal layout down below, and then we've got our light control right here. Steering wheel is power adjustable. Got nice paddle shifters there on the back. And let's pop in. Now here is the steering wheel. You guys can see really nice leather trim here at the top and at the bottom. That's smooth. Perforated here on the side so you can get a better grip. Again, you got those paddle shifters. Radio controls are just underneath the paddles. Cruise control here, controls for the center stack with our voice command phone control. And of course we have our turn signal / windshield wiper stock. And there's the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. You've got the red gauges here on either side. Notice 200 miles an hour for the top speed of the car. You can scroll through a bunch of different menus here to see different bits of info. You got like the performance side of things, which is pretty cool if you ask me. It shows us our G-forces right now. I guess we're slightly tilted towards the side. But anyways, a bunch of different things you can see there in the center gauge cluster. And also 140 degrees outside. Jeez, I can't get a break now. Here's the center infotainment system. If we pop it into reverse, we just have a regular backup camera. You guys can see trajectory lines do move with the steering wheel. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, you can see we've got the dual zone climate controls. You also have controls for the heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel as wheel. If I press the SRT button down below, I'll show that to you guys in a moment. You guys can see everything that is happening here with it. Notice we have like the drive mode select that we can go. And when you have the black key in, this is what it'll do. So if you want all 717, you got to have the red key. So this is kind of like the quote-unquote neutered version of the Hellcat when you have this key in. And then performance pages will take a while to load, but it'll show you real-time horsepower and torque and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, down below I've got analog controls for like, well, this takes you to the SRT pages, your launch control, which you can activate after 500 miles. Dual zone climate controls. Notice here with the 12 volt, you can see the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. Then notice it says Dodge Brothers. Got a cup holder there, cup holder situation rather, center console with the 12 volt. And then notice here with the glove box, pretty normal. And then notice here with the padding on the dash and then the stitching that goes across, and then another Hellcat logo. And then up top here, we got a sunroof, controls for the sunroof right there, universal garage door openers, and all black headliner. Here's the window sticker for this Hellcat. You guys can see the base price before anything is added on and everything that comes with it. So the wide body is no longer an optional equipment, it's just like its own standalone package. This one has the sunroof and then obviously gas guzzler tax. Total MSRP $80,590. Let's see how she scoots. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both of the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's see what this Hellcat's made of. We are setting off in the Hellcat Widebody. Now, obviously, this isn't as cool as the Red Eye Widebody, but it's still a really cool car. First off, it is so comfortable. Like, seriously, ride quality is great. It's a great GT car. That's the thing about the Hellcats is, like, you know, they don't get the best fuel economy, but it's just a car you can just put tons of miles on driving down the highway, and you could drive down the highway, frankly, at ridiculous speeds because it's so much horsepower, right? Yeah, it's just such a comfy, and the seat comfort too. That's another big plus, is the seat comfort's great. I actually want to pop it in the manual mode and see how this compares to my TRX with the shifts. Yeah, it's snappy with the shifts, actually. Steering feels great as well. It's another thing I really like about the Hellcats. It is a big, heavy car, but like it handles well for how heavy it is. It sounds so good. And just listen to that V8. And when you get in the RPM, when you get up higher in the RPMs, you do hear the supercharger a little bit more, which is always a fun time. I just have it in the sport mode if you guys are wondering, and 104 degrees. Utah is just so bipolar with the weather, is what everyone says, and it's true. It'll be like 50 degrees and raining, and then it'll be like 100 degrees and sunny in the same day some days. It doesn't make sense, but it happens that way. Other stuff with the Hellcat, they've definitely made the interior on this a lot nicer. I wouldn't call it luxury car nice, but it's a lot nicer than it used to be. There's just more nice material use, that is for sure. Sounds so sweet. Such just that supercharger whine. There's never going to be anything like this in the future once electric cars are in full swing. I have to feather the throttle. 717 horsepower, you got to be careful. But you know what you could do with the Hellcat to make it so that you get used to the power if you're not used to it, is instead of using the red key initially, you could use the black key that I showed earlier in the video, and then and you could build off of that, right? Or you could just do partial throttle with the red key. Just depends on what you want to do. I would say the black key though, learning off of that, so you don't crash the car, right? A lot of people might not be willing to do that though. They're like, oh no, I'm a good enough driver. Well, you're a good enough driver until you're going sideways in a 700 horsepower, 4,000 pound sedan. But anyways, summing things up with the red eye. Sounds so cool. First off, you can't really go full throttle. You can only like feather all the time, which, you know, it is what it is. But it's so comfortable. It's crazy fast. It's a dying breed, that's for sure. You know, we're not gonna have, like, next year, I don't think they're gonna have this next year. So like, it's like your last chance to get something like this. It's crazy, like, it doesn't make sense. It's a 4-door family car, gets horrible fuel economy, over 700 horsepower, rear wheel drive. It's not practical, but it is practical at the same time. It's a weird car, but I just love it. This will always have a special place in my heart. And you know, this is like an $80,000 car today. I'm sure in like 100 years from now, it's going to be like a $200,000 car, 300, maybe $1 million car, because people will be like, remember when they had gasoline in cars and 700 horsepower instead of our Jetson mobiles, right? So yeah, they've got this Hellcat. If you're interested, get it before it's gone. The wide body package, I definitely go with that. The extra tire and the looks, it's worth the extra dough. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Charger Hellcat Widebody. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this car. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.